What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video, and basically I'm going to be explaining the badge of shame. But of course, we got to go back into history to really know what the badge of shame really was from the beginning, And I choose to use the Holocaust. Now, the badge of shame in the Holocaust was the Star of David. They didn't have a choice to wear the Star of David. They were forced to wear the Star of David by Hitler. But if they really knew what the Star of David really meant, then they would have fled. They would have went back to Israel. They would have went back to their homeland. They wouldn't have stayed. But by them wearing the Star of David, they basically showed Hitler that they valued their lives in Germany more than their life that God wanted to give them. So basically, with Hitler doing that, making them wear the Star of David, he was basically testing them to see if they knew of what they were doing or if they didn't. Because if you look into it, the six-sided star is really evil. It is used to conjure spirits. It is octacle, used to conjure spirits, to do magic, some magic bullshit. And that's what the Star of David really is. It's just to use magic, And basically, with that being said, the badge of shame before was the Star of David for the Jews. And history tends to repeat itself a lot. And now let me go into the Jewish people a little bit more. Now, the Jewish people were originally called Hebrews or Israelites. Now, Hebrews or Israelites were the real children of God, and then the Jewish people are really just Romans. Hebrews were Africans. The Romans, they weren't really African. All the Romans wanted was power, and that's what you see in Jewish people today. All they really care about is their power, the power that they have in this life. But the Hebrews were children of God, and they were being kicked out of wherever they were trying to settle, because they were trying to be in Egypt. But then the Greeks pushed them out of Egypt with Alexander the Great. They pushed them out of Egypt, and they basically moved them they basically made them push themselves into Rome. So whenever they went to Rome, the Roman Empire was basically like Israel, all of that. Like, the Roman Empire was they ruled Europe and most of the Middle East. So whenever they went to Rome, basically they was being taxed very, very unfairly by the Romans. And the Romans, was using that against them. And they even destroyed a temple in Jerusalem just to make the Jupiter Optimus Maximus that is still up to date in Rome. They destroyed a Jewish temple just to make that. That's kind of evil, bro. So basically, with that, I guess the Romans started to take the Hebrews teachings and turn it into their own, and turn the name into Jewish, because there's no way that you can just go from Hebrew to Jewish. Hebrews are black and Jewish are whites, are the Romans, the Caucasians, because they often do that, with the ancient Egyptians. The Emerald Book of Thoth was an Egyptian book, but they made the Greek Book of Thoth, the Emerald Book of Greeks. They always stealing our stuff just to make it to their own, just to make themselves look better. Like the original Bible. There's no copy of the original Bible because it was written by us, but it was rewritten by the Romans. Like, I don't know. Like, the Romans, the white, like, it's always to make us not look like we have power, bro. That's all it is. They always just want all the power. We don't get any power. We get our power taken from them. We were born with power, but it's always taken by them. And you see that today, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, basically the Jewish people, Jews, the name Jews basically come from the Romans. It wasn't Hebrews, it wasn't Israelites, it was just Romans, And if you look into the Jewish people today, the richest people in the world are Jewish, Like, most of the richest people in the world are Jewish. Those are the most powerful people that we see in our eyes. Even though they are not powerful. That's what we see, because what do we know? Money is power. So the person with the most money is going to have the most power, you know what I'm saying? In this world, though, in this matrix that we live in. But really, if you have a strong-ass spirit, then you got power. That's really the truth. If you know what you want to do and you continue to do it, that's your power. But yeah. So basically, yeah, the Jewish people are just Romans. They stole our teachings. They stole everything that we did, and they made it into their own. And if you look into it, bro, Jewish jewelry, you know what I'm saying? It's not that far. Like, they both have that name Jew, and Jewish people, they usually just go by Jew, But that's what happened to the Hebrews, because it was originally just Hebrews and Israelites, but it turned into Jew whenever the Romans took over. The Romans took that power from us and turn it into their own. That's the same shit that they did with Christianity. Like, once the Romans basically found out that their empire was falling, they adopted Christianity. Because before they adopted Christianity and made the whole Catholic Church and all that, they was killing Christians. Like, they was killing people that follow Christianity. They was killing them left and right until their empire was starting to fall, and they needed another way to get that power back. So they made the Roman Catholic Church, and they basically fucking took that power from us. Because who do you think was the original people that wrote the Bible? It was us, black folks. You know what I'm saying? We have so much power in this world, and niggas just don't know. Niggas just don't know. But yeah, we originally wrote the Bibles, but they stole the Bible and wrote it their own way. Like, they always steal whatever we do. We see that in society today, bro. Whatever drip we have, they try to steal it, bro. They steal everything we do because we are the ones that are really influential. We influence, bro. But we can't really be influenced by the right things if we don't start interpreting the world in our own way. Because this world is only supposed to help, who? The people that are Caucasian, not us, bro. It's not supposed to help us. That's why I keep saying, like, try to get your own understanding of the world so that you can see through all of the bullshit that's going on, But yeah. So yeah, bro, the Hebrews are us. We are the Hebrews. The Jewish people are the Romans, The Jewish people, that's why they've been punished for so long. That's why God's just been showing them. Because they know of what they did before a long time ago. And they just gonna, like, I'm not wishing that on anybody. Like, I'm not saying that what Hitler did in the Holocaust was the right thing. Because God wouldn't want another man to handle his job. God is just going to show him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Yeah, okay, now let me go back into some other history. Because that happened in Europe, right? Now, with the Spanish flu is basically what's happening with the pandemic, Corona. Now, with the Spanish flu is basically, the Spanish flu was basically just in Europe. It was just in Europe. It didn't really leave Europe. It was just in Europe, a little bit in the United States. But it did kill many. But there was 4 waves, It did kill a lot. Like, it killed like 50 million people. But we only went through 1 wave, and it killed 7K or 700K. That's a lot. That's a lot just for 1 wave. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But that was only in Europe. And that's where, most people was, staying at. They was mostly staying in Europe and stuff. So, it makes sense. That's everybody being in one little nation, one little ass continent, just all around each other. Yeah. There wasn't really airplanes. Niggas wasn't really in boats. Niggas wasn't really leaving. So, it was just in Europe, right? So, now that we're able to, travel and shit through air, especially through air, planes, all that shit. Now that we're able to basically travel like that, let me come into the present now. The badge of shame now for us is the mask. The mask, now we're not forced to wear the mask right when we walk outside like the Jewish people were forced to wear the Star of David when they walked outside or whenever they were going out. They were forced to. They didn't have a choice to because they was living under their dictatorship. But we are forced to wear a mask whenever we go into certain stores. We can't go into masks without wearing we can't go into stores without wearing masks sometimes. Like, in order to go to Walmart, you have to wear a mask. In order to go to Kroger, you got to wear a mask. Like, that should be our choice. We live in a free country, right? We should be able to choose whether to wear a mask or not. It shouldn't be required, but it's going to be, they're going to try to do different things to make it, seem like we're still in a free country, but we really just being controlled. We really just being controlled, and y'all don't really see that shit. Because the mask, and the same way the mask is a sign of control, is the same way the Star of David was a sign of Hitler controlling them, is the same way the mask is a way of them controlling us. You know what I'm saying? But y'all don't really see it like that. Y'all just see it as protecting yourselves. Bro, you don't need a mask to be protected from COVID. If you wear a mask, you're actually more susceptible to get COVID because, look, if you take off the mask, like I said before, if you take off the mask, you're touching it with your fingers. If you can get COVID on your fingers, you take off the mask, you're touching it with your fingers. Whenever you put it back on, you're going to have COVID on your fingers, and you're going to be, breathing in the air the shit that you put up, the COVID you had on your fingers, you're going to be bringing it in your mask. So basically, yeah, wearing a mask, that shit is really, like, what the fuck? Like, bruh. But that's just how I look at it. I feel like the mask is the badge of shame. Now back to COVID. This is a global thing. Everybody in the world is wearing masks. Even bro, I know even people in Kenya, because, you know, I'm from Kenya. I know people from Kenya that's wearing masks, going around wearing masks and shit. It's even people in third world countries, bro, that are afraid of COVID, right? That they are wearing masks, taking safety precautions when it's really just them, though, bro, controlling the whole world, bro. China and the U.S. is controlling the whole world. Whatever happens in these two countries becomes a trend for every other country, bro. So basically, yeah, that mask shit is the badge of shame. It's basically showing, it's a way of humiliating us, bro. That's how I look at it. It's basically just showing them that they got control, that they have us like little puppets wearing masks, got a little mask on, you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you think Future just has a name Future for no reason, bro? That nigga put mask on, fucking mask off, nigga, fuck it, mask off. Like, I'm not wearing no damn mask, bro. Fuck that shit. Like, you thought he was just talking, bro? That nigga Future can really, bro, that nigga Future really sold his soul, but I ain't even gonna go into that shit right now. But yeah, let me go back to say, what Hitler did was not right. But if you look into the history of the Jews, bro, the history of the Jews, they worship power. That's why they got the name Jew, Jewish jewelry. You know what I'm saying? That's not a coincidence, you know. That was a way of showing that what they got, they just rich, bro. They got all the power in the world, you know. Jewelry, that's what everybody really wants. Everybody wants jewelry, because jewelry makes you what? Look good, makes you look rich, makes you look like you got some type of power, some type of standard in this world. But really, that jewelry shit not really for me. But anyways, yeah, that's basically it. So I hope y'all made it through the whole video, because if you didn't make it through the whole video and just watch the whole Holocaust part, then you would be like, damn, this nigga's a dickhead. But nah, basically, I hope y'all understood it. This is from my own understanding. Just know that. All right, but yeah, that's it. Basically, yeah, the badge of shame is the mask. The badge of shame that's showing us to God. We just showing God that we don't really have faith in him, bro. And I'm gonna keep saying that. By wearing that mask, you're showing God that you don't really have faith in him, that you don't really trust in him to protect you, bro. And I'm gonna just keep saying that. But that's it. Peace.